In early 2011, Egyptians were jubilant when a popular uprising ended Hosni Mubarak's 30 years in power. Throughout the Middle East and North Africa, dictators were being ousted, and the atmosphere among pro-democracy demonstrators was euphoric. The movement was quickly labeled the Arab Spring, but it created what turned out to be a false hope for the future. James Phillips is a senior Middle East analyst at the Heritage Foundation.
The Obama administration and other Western governments really subscribed to wishful thinking and hoping that, this, and just the term Arab Spring kind of suggested a hopeful and inevitable transition to democracy, and I don't think that was ever the case.
Soon, much of the Middle East would descend into chaos. Last month, Egypt's military ousted the country's first elected president and then released Mr. Mubarak from prison, putting him under house arrest. Earlier, Syria descended into civil war. There are even indications that chemical weapons may have been used in a conflict that has killed more than 100,000 people. Al-Qaeda-linked militias roam the country as civilians flee. Nearly 2 million are refugees burdening Syria's neighbors. In Libya, hundreds of militias are moving around the country. Some are linked to Al-Qaeda. We spoke via Skype to Jonathan Schanzer with the Foundation for Defense of Democracies.
One has to remember that the Arab world is not well versed in democracy. The Arab world really has no experience in democracy. They hunger for it, they thirst for it, but that doesn't mean that they know how to achieve it.
In Iraq, following elections and the withdrawal of U.S. troops, a surge in terrorism and violence has occurred amid tension between Sunni and Shiite Muslims. The Shiite-led government has blamed much of the bloodshed on al-Qaeda, and analysts say the group is well positioned to take advantage of the turbulence spreading in the Middle East. Again, Jonathan Schanzer.
These are the convulsions that took place after the Arab Spring, and we're not sure how long they're going to last, but at least right now, it seems unlikely that this is going to be settled anytime soon.
Sunni versus Shiite, Islamist versus secular, authoritarian versus Democrat, all boiling in the volatile Middle East. James Phillips.
I hope it doesn't go from Arab Spring to Islamist winter, but unfortunately, I think in many parts of the Arab world, that's what will happen.
Phillips says it will take at least a generation for what he predicts will be a grueling transition toward democracy. Meredith Buel, VOA News, Washington.